welcome to One Brooklyn Health Community Kitchen. My name is Dehisha Salaj, and this month is National Nutrition Month. This year's theme is Beyond the Table, where we teach you how to use fresh farm ingredients in everyday recipes. Now, we have two special guests this time, and we're so excited. First, starting with our registered dietitian, Katie Schnack. And guys, save the best for last, we have our CEO, Dr. Sandra Scott, in the house. Welcome, Dr. Scott.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to have both of you guys here, and especially our CEO. I don't know, I'm a little nervous, but I think we're gonna do good. I think we're gonna do well. So this dish, guys, is a cabbage steak dish with roasted chickpeas and croutons. Not just any croutons, but garlic herb croutons. So that makes it extra crunchy, extra special just for you. So, shall we get started, ladies?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're ready? You're ready?
Do it. Yeah, I'm ready.
So, you can use purple cabbage. And I think the purple cabbage gives you a little bit more of a robust and fancy feel to it. Or you can use the purple cabbage. So, what would you say the differences are between the purple cabbage and the green cabbage?
And the green cabbage? Well, the purple cabbage is a lot darker. It's a lot, it just looks like a royal color. It looks,
All right.
I would say fiber as well. I just love the purple cabbage because of the color. I love seeing color on my plate.
So we'll start off with steaks. And so you want to make sure that you cut your cabbage about, I would say about an inch thick. Right, if you go too thin, it's going to fall apart and you won't have kind of the steaky feel to it.
That's what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have a lot of like cabbage
Stuff.
strips, cabbage strips instead of steaks.
Right, but we'll talk about cabbage strips. So look at this, right? So look at the beautiful colors there, right? So that's the advantage of a steak, right? And you'll just keep cutting your cabbage into steaks.
That's beautiful.
Now the other way that I actually, usually when I'm at home and I'm not impressing someone with my beautiful purple cabbage, I'll just cut them into strips, right? So if your cabbage falls apart and you end up with strips, you'll have something like this, which is also fun. It's also fun. It is. Right. So once you have your cabbage cut up, and I think we have a little fast forward for you. A little movie magic. So you'll take your cabbage steaks and you'll line them up in your pan. All right.
Pan over here.
Yep. And
so that has a little olive oil and salt and pepper on the bottom. So the bottom is coat. Just a little shortcut.
Yes. Right. And so actually I'll finish cutting this one.
Okay.
I'll hand this over to you. So we'll do the whole thing. And another little trick is you want to keep your fingers away from the knife. So what she didn't tell you is I'm also an emergency room doctor. And I've had tons of people come into the ER with cut fingers and missing nubs of fingers. So when you're cutting, just fold your fingertips in. Don't have your fingertips out like this. So you're going to fold your fingertips in so you're not sticking them out in front of your knife. Right? All right.
If you have kids, you're teaching your kids to cut. Tell them to make a little bear claw.
There you go.
Make it fun.
All right. And it gets really tricky when you get down to the very end of the cabbage.
You're very good at this.
So, all right. So
yesterday
now,
I tried and it fell apart.
But you didn't cut your finger.
No, I didn't. Thank God.
All
They're
right.
all here by the grace of God.
But if you cut your finger, the emergency department at One Brooklyn Health is there to serve you.
And I don't want to go to the emergency room.
Very good.
But it's there to serve you.
Yes.
You heard that? Camera
Yes.
3? Okay.
All right. And then we'll take a little olive oil
Yes.
and we'll coat it with olive oil on top.
Oh, that looks good
All
already.
right.
Looks delicious.
Now, and then sometimes what I'll do is you can add a little extra garlic powder, onion powder. If you're feeling a little Caribbean, you can put a little bit of jerk powder on top of
we love
those or
jerk.
jerk seasoning. And then you're going to put these in the oven and you're going to set a timer because the cabbage cooks very slowly and then all of a sudden it's brown and then all of a sudden what happens?
It just breaks apart and you
It's burnt.
mushy,
Right.
overcooked.
Burnt, mushy, overcooked. So you want to set your timer for about 15 minutes, right? And then you're going to come back and then you'll flip the cabbage over to the other side, right? And then if necessary, you can add a little bit more oil. You're going to put those back in the oven, probably for another 10 minutes or so. Just want it to have a nice toasted look on top. You're essentially broiling the cabbage, right? So do we have some broiled cabbage?
I think we do.
All right, we're gonna pop them in our TV oven.
Get the oven for her. Okay.
All right, which is actually hot. All right, and then voila, all done. All right, so
we just kind of put both type of the cabbages in the same, just for television's sake.
let's see. We'll move these a little bit aside.
They're nice and caramelized. That caramelization that happens it just gives the cabbage such a nice taste. If you're, if you think you're not a fan of cabbage and you haven't tried this, I think you should try it.
That's a very good point. So when you broil the cabbage, and I would say I typically with mine, I like a little bit of a darker, I like to broil them a little bit more, but that's a very good point. So the flavor is very different from a stewed cabbage. Get a little bit more crunch.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Stewed cabbage versus broiled cabbage. So I hear this whole, some people are a little bit more gassier than others, and that's quite okay. But I heard that there's a difference in the solution of the cabbage if you broil it versus stew. So can you elaborate a little bit on the difference?
I've found that if you broil the cabbage versus boiling the cabbage, which is put the cabbage in water and stew, that it tends to cause a little bit less flatus, gas, aka gas. But no scientific proof there, unless you have scientific proof behind that. This is our nutritionist.
I'm not going to speak on record about that. There is some science to it. But yeah, I mean, some people, everyone's body is different. We all have a different gut microbiome. You may have heard a lot about that in the media, on the internet, TikTok. Yeah, a lot of people have different reactions to different methods of cooking. So if something doesn't suit you, maybe try another way of cooking.
Yeah, and it may be, I don't know, the temperature the cabbage gives you that. However, one thing, whether you're eating stewed cabbage or broiled cabbage, is fiber.
Fiber.
That's probably what makes people gassy too. The fiber.
The fiber makes you eat it tastes really good today, feels really good tomorrow.
Yes.
Very good.
Sounds good to me. So I guess we'll move that to the side.
So we're going to move to the chickpeas. Okay. And then, I'm going to mix the chickpeas in this bowl. All right. All right, so you're going to take your chickpeas. You're going to take just a can of chickpeas. You're going to rinse them in a strainer. And then you're going to add your chickpeas. And you can have a little bit of artistic creativity with your chickpeas. The recipe calls for coriander. And what's coriander?
Coriander is celery, the same plant.
All right. Nutritional fact for today. So you're going to add some celery powder, aka coriander. All right. You're going to add a little bit of cumin and some black pepper and paprika. Oh, okay. You could add a little bit of paprika to that. So this is all mixed together. Okay. So I'm going to cheat.
Yep.
I could just.
Yeah. Just toss it.
Just toss it all in.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like a lot of black pepper, but we'll go with that. And then a spoon. You can toss it with some tongs. All right, so this has a little bit more black pepper than I would use. And I think paprika gives it a nice red color also. And then similar to the cabbage, we're gonna broil the chickpeas. I would add a little bit of olive oil.
The olive oil helps the spices stick.
Very good, very good. That's true. Was that a nutritional fact?
It is. That is a nutrition. That's a cooking hack.
That's a cooking hack. All right, and then we'll just spread these on a pan. All right. All right, and then you want these to be even. And you can use a cookie sheet. I actually prefer to use a cookie sheet. Right, so it's a thin
single
layer. Single layer. There you go. And she washed her hands before.
I did wash my hands.
Just in case you
We all did.
Yeah.
You want that single layer, you want the air to go around them. That helps get them crispy. Otherwise, you get a little bit of a sogginess. The crispy chickpeas are
delicious.
They're delicious. It's worth it to take the time to get them really crispy.
Very good. So
we pop that in the
oven. And then we'll leave this in while we're making the, be careful. Very good. All right. Now we're going to make the salad dressing.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
You're excited
I mean, I
about
was excited about the cabbage too and all the other healthy stuff, but this dressing, oh my gosh, I had it yesterday.
What's in the dressing?
Wow.
What's in the dressing? Let's see if you remember.
The dressing has mayo.
Uh-huh.
You could use vegan mayo, which I love vegan mayo. Vegan mayo, mustard.
What kind of mustard?
Dijon.
Dijon mustard.
Lemon juice.
She speaks French. She's cheating. Lemon juice.
Pepper and salt and garlic.
Very good.
Now, I did overdo it in the garlic a little bit because I'm a garlic fan. And I think it just helps gut too, right? It's very healthy for you. So I just put a little bit more garlic than needed, but
So a little bit of mayo. All right. And then we're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice.
And we have a whisk for you over there.
All right. Oh, okay. The lemon juice gives you a nice acidic flavor.
Oh, yes, it does.
And then
Dijon mustard.
and some Dijon mustard. And you don't want too much mustard. That's just going to give you a little bit of a
tang.
tangy flavor, right? And then the fun part,
garlic.
I would use a couple.
Do you want me to crush that or break it apart? Are you going to cut it?
We're going to actually do this. So another little hack, smash the garlic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right? And curve your little fingers. All right.
Look at your chopping skills.
Oh, well,
yes,
they're actually, I'm
Scott.
probably not supposed to rock, but I'm going to do
It's
home.
okay. I mean, it's getting the job done.
Yeah, it's getting the job. That's the most
Really
important part.
nicely.
There's no real rules in cooking.
Right.
Everyone's got a different method. You can also grate the garlic. That's quick.
Yeah.
Or throw it in a food processor. You've got those little mini ones.
That's true. Food
Yeah.
processors
So many
are a
ways
good
to
way
get to
go.
the same point.
I agree
right.
with you.
And you want your garlic to be in tiny, tiny pieces so your guests are not crunching on ginormous
Right.
pieces of
Since
garlic.
this is a dressing, we're not cooking it. The garlic's gonna stay the same size. So mincing it is a really good idea. But I can tell you that garlic is really important in so many cultures. I have so many patients who tell me, I just eat a clove of garlic, 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like if that's what makes you feel good, that's great. There's nothing wrong, to my knowledge, yet about eating cloves of garlic.
You could always get some mints afterwards. You know,
absolutely.
Out, you know.
Yeah, you can.
There we are. All right.
Very good.
And now we're going to add the garlic.
Another thing I would do at home also, I would use like a pestle and mortar, like just to get that with a little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
It just breaks it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
It makes it more pasty.
And the salt kind of helps cut the like intensity of the garlic. If you mix a little salt.
Excellent, excellent. All right.
Cooking's fun, you guys.
So take a look at this, nice and creamy. And then you want to taste it and make sure you have the amount of acidity, right? So the lemon juice is giving you that acid flavor, getting a little punch from the Dijon. You could even add a little bit of cayenne. I'm from Louisiana, so we like our cayenne pepper. So there we have it, right? So now we have dressing, we have our chickpeas roasting, we have our roasted, broiled cabbage. Are we ready? Oh,
One more thing. There's one more. This
Croutons.
is a special dish.
So now here's the thing about croutons. Croutons add carbohydrates to the meal. So if you're low carb, you're watching your weight, you can leave off the croutons and you can substitute the croutons with tofu, right? So you can have little cubes of pan-fried tofu. And then if you're not a vegetarian or you are a seafood lover like myself, then you could add shrimp, right? So you could boil some shrimp and add the shrimp. You could just cook the shrimp on top of the stove and add shrimp on top of the dish.
Awesome.
So tell me, you made us some croutons.
I did. I pre-made the magic of TV.
So tell me
pre-ready.
what you did. Tell me what you did.
So I took some sliced bread like we have here, and then I cut the corners.
Just
and
the
then-
corners of it.
Oh, I cut the corners and I teared the bread apart with my fingers, so they're the exact size. Like they're fun.
Kind of
Everything
rustic.
doesn't exactly. I love the rustic look.
All right.
And then in a bowl, I just put in my seasoning: the salt, the pepper, the parsley, lots of garlic, and then I just tossed it with some olive oil and I toast it up.
All right. Very good.
And it's very crunchy when it comes out. As you can tell, I love the color. It just adds and balances the purple of the cabbage, and it's very crunchy. And I'm not sure if it helps to cook the crouton a little bit more. I also did something in our conversation that you mentioned, which was sesame oil.
Oh,
So I did bring some for you. Somebody could find it, but
Wait, is it here?
oh yeah, sorry.
So
Thank you, Kia.
yeah, so sesame oil adds a nice toasty flavor.
Like a nutty
to it.
flavor. So I tried that yesterday. So that actually has sesame oil.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm a good student.
Yes. And I also sometimes put a little sesame oil in the salad
I did
dressing.
that too, by the way.
You did? Oh,
I did.
okay, all
I
right.
did.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna add just a tiny bit of sesame oil.
And it's gonna complement the croutons, and everything's gonna come together.
Yes. All right. And speaking of coming together, are you ready to put the dish together?
I am, and I have a beautiful plate for you laid right there. Katie, you want to get it for her?
All right.
And I will
So
get
I made kind of the traditional, nice little square breadcrumbs.
You don't like the rustic look? Is that
I
what it
do.
is?
I do. So I'm gonna put mine on the side. All right. Let's clean up here.
We'll clean that up. I'll take that for you.
All right, thank you. I'll keep this one. All right, so you're gonna take a plate and let's grab our cabbage. All right, so now we're ready for presentation. So you wanna get a really nice dish or plate. And the first thing we're gonna do is plate our cabbage, and we're gonna make this beautiful. We're gonna do a little bit of purple.
Ooh, that's pretty.
I'm gonna put our purple one here. And then we'll grab a little bit of the green cabbage in the middle. And I actually have fun plating even when I feed my kid. I try to make sure the dishes are really attractive and
We can use that for the salad later.
okay. All right. All right. Have a little color. All right, so we have our cabbage plated. And next, I'm gonna actually just brush them lightly with the dressing. It's a little light brush. The dressing. You don't want to lose the purple flavor too much though. All right, and then you can have a lot of fun. We put a little dressing here. We're gonna drizzle, make it this is a great Mother's Day dish.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
It looks very springy too.
Yeah.
Tis the season.
This looks like something I'd get in a restaurant.
Yeah, it does.
Amazing.
It certainly does. I did treat myself yesterday when I was testing it.
All right, and then we're just gonna sprinkle some of the chickpeas.
Nice and crispy.
All right.
This is a really nice dish because it has a lot of different, there's a lot of interest. There's interesting textures and flavors going on. You've got the crunch from the croutons and the chickpeas. A little like softness, butteriness with the
Excellent. And then-
cabbage.
And then we're gonna add a little
Let me move this for you.
pepper. All right, you want to think about the color in your presentation, so put a little black pepper on top.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And I'm actually a low salt person, so we didn't actually add much salt to this dish, which I think is a good thing.
I'm gonna get us some forks, Dr. Scott, because we gotta sample this.
Yeah, it doesn't need too much salt if you have a lot of seasoning. Like we put a ton of seasoning here. What do we put in here? We put black pepper,
We put cumin.
cumin,
We coped celery powder,
celery
coriander.
powder, coriander.
A
lot of
and
garlic.
garlic.
So
Yeah.
you're not gonna miss the salt. You might, but you'll love it. It's great.
All right, this dish looks so beautiful. Dr. Scott, thank you so much again for showing us this beautiful art. And what is a dish if we don't taste it, right? So we're gonna do our famous fork cheer. Ding.
Oh, wait, let's do that again. This is my first fork cheer. All right.
And here's to National Nutrition Month.
Here's
you
the
go
National
first.
Nutrition Month.
Yes, and happy National
Happy
Nutrition.
National.
Yes.
Happy National.
Try to say that 3 times. Happy National Nutrition Month, guys. So let's dig in.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll start with the purple, I guess. Actually, I'll start with the chickpeas because I don't want to mess up my. Just as I remembered it as yesterday.
All right. Mission accomplished.
So how did you do? How did you do?
Well, I think I probably would have added a little more garlic to it, but I think it's delicious.
This dressing is so good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it, personally.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much once again, Dr. Scott. And
My
thank you so
pleasure.
much, Katie, for joining us. It was such a pleasure, guys, to have you and to cook this beautiful dish. I'll definitely be cooking it many more times at home. And we have a little gift for you. Not that your apron is not cute, But we wanted to make sure you're branded out with some OBH.
Wow.
So we have actually one for you.
All right.
And we have one for you.
Oh my God, I have one too.
All right.
You do. So now maybe, yeah, exactly. So now you still a chef that know a lot of things, but now you're OBH.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.
you.
Thank you so much for joining us at the One Brooklyn Health Community Kitchen for a Beyond the Table experience celebrating National Nutrition Month. Special thanks to our registered dietitians Trudy Park and Katie Schnag, and our special guest, our CEO, Dr. Sandra Scott. Special thanks to all of our community partners, Bread and Life, and our nutrition team at One Brooklyn Health for providing our farm fresh ingredients. Special thanks to our friends at Clazy Beauty and Bianca on the Beat for donating their talents for hair and makeup. For more information about this recipe or other recipes from One Brooklyn Health, follow us on YouTube under One Brooklyn Health or visit us at www.onebrooklynhealth.org. And thank you all for watching. This was such a wonderful episode, and check out our YouTube channel for more recipes. We would love to thank Mangrove Kitchen for having us here. Yes. One Brooklyn Health loves partnering with you, and there'll be so many more. Well, guys, until next time, happy National Nutrition Month. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.